All right, my name is Captain Irving, and you're in F Troop. Now, oh, kitty.
An inspector general is coming to assess the men's pension fund money. Who's in charge of that?
I hope Sergeant O'Rourke will be ready with a full report.
He will be, sir. He's balancing the books right now.
I'll see you for 110 and 110 irate.
Who's in charge of the pension fund? That guy playing poker with O'Rourke because the sergeant is losing it all to him. Now O'Rourke is desperate. He has Agarn collecting pennies from the men, trying to sell Indian blankets back to the Indians. You name it, it's not working. Meanwhile, O'Rourke keeps losing to this guy. He goes by Dapper Dan.
Man who play with fire have better chance than man who play with Dapper Dan. Why you think Indians always ride bareback? Dapper Dan win all the saddles.
He's getting no help from Wild Eagle. How about Jane?
Genuine Indian blankets, 100% wool.
10% wool and 90% cotton. I know, I bought a dozen from O'Rourke.
How about you, sir? It looks like it's going to be a long, cold winter.
He don't need 'em. This here's my cousin Henry. Just come out to help me for a few weeks.
Henry is a bit of an inventor.
What's that?
That's a little invention of mine. It's called the talk-a-box. You talk into the little box, and someone else talks into another box from far away. And you can hear each other. As a matter of fact, I have several of these set up in some of the stores. I have one over at the livery stable. I have one over in the saloon.
So, a telephone. Depending on what year it is, I think Alexander Graham Bell already did that. But the fact that he has them set up at various points around town will be significant. Agarn thinks Henry may be a little bit, especially since he says he can charge people every time they talk to each other on it. He can't raise any money, and O'Rourke is cleaned out.
All right. I'll bet the saloon.
You lost that an hour ago.
Really cleaned out. Agarn has some advice for him.
Play slowly, slowly. That way you won't lose so fast.
For whatever it's worth. He's begging Jane for money, but Henry has another invention that could raise funds for him.
You push this little button right here. Now you sit on your bicycle and you start pedaling. That's where you get your power.
Wrangler, I don't know about him.
Now, let's say there's some fella in Cincinnati playing the violin. Let's say that. Now, the music floats through the air over these sound waves, and it comes out right here.
So, a radio. Except there's no transmitter in Cincinnati, so he's expecting it to pick up the actual sound vibrating through the air. Let's see Marconi do that. But he's so sincere you can't help but share his enthusiasm. That was kind of George Gobel's trademark. Like a lot of stars of his time, he started out as a singer and was moving up the ranks when he had to go serve in World War II. While he was there, he started doing stand-up routines for the other soldiers, and after the war, he hit the nightclub circuit and hit it big. Forget singing, he was now an established comedian. His humor was quiet and self-deprecating, and it would immediately endear you to him. He made the jump to TV in 1952 and had his own Emmy-winning show from 1954 to 58, in which he played your basic henpecked husband and became a household name. Later on, when Cliff Arquette died, better known to a generation of game show watchers as Charlie Weaver, Mr. Gobel took over his spot on the Hollywood Squares board and pretty well lived happily ever after. He married his wife Alice in 1942, and the marriage only ended when he died in 1991. It's worth your time to track down some of his stuff from the 50s. You'll love it. Much like his friend Red Skelton, he was pretty much born to make people laugh. He succeeded. Jane won't give Agarn any money, but she'll go check out the game for herself. Gambling is supposed to be illegal in this town anyway. Henry would like to tag along, but Agarn won't let him. So he's amusing himself when the captain comes in and they start talking cards.
Well, I have played some hearts.
Oh, well, that's nice. I play... Would you mind picking up that 3 of diamonds for me, please?
That's face down. How do you know it's a 3?
It has to be a 3, Captain, because I looked when I riffled through the deck, and the 3 was the 17th card in the deck, and it was right next to the 8 of hearts, which was the 16th card in the deck.
Henry has what we today would call an eidetic memory. He never forgets a face, a name, a card, you name it, he remembers it.
Oh, well, where's Jane?
She's over at the saloon playing cards.
She's what?
She and Corporal Agarn went to the card game. They're at the card game with Sergeant O'Rourke and Dapper Dan. You see, I never forget a name.
Jane and Sergeant O'Rourke and Corporal Agarn? Gambling?
He also didn't know gambling's against the rules.
Sergeant, I am ashamed of you. Ashamed. This is no way to set a proper example for your men. This gambling has to stop right now. And I want Dapper Dan out of town.
Well, that may be a little difficult to arrange, sir.
Yeah, now that he owns most of the town.
Now they have to come up with $2,000 by 9:30 tomorrow morning. They only know one way to get it.
What are you doing here, Henry?
I thought if you still needed money, I got another idea.
Please, Henry, not now.
But this is it. I call it my wagon mobile. It's like a horse and buggy.
Where do you hook up the horse?
You don't use a horse. It runs on liquid, like oil and kerosene.
So, a car. People had been experimenting with so-called horseless carriages for decades, and several had been patented. Henry's a little late.
What?
No, that was a mistake.
Why?
Well, he's drawn to a straight, and he should be drawn to a flush. His chances of making a straight are 23 to 1, a flush 7 to 1. Besides that, I watched him shuffle. His next card will be the 9 of clubs, and the card he needs is 2 cards from the bottom.
I think he has Agarn's attention. He takes Henry outside and off to one side to discuss enlisting his help to beat Dapper Dan.
The least you could do is get in that card game and help the Sarge save the pension fund for the men.
But I do not gamble.
Don't you realize we've lost all the money in the pension fund in that card game? Corporal Agon reporting for court-martials.
Captain Parmenter is ready to go shut the game down right now, but Agon reminds him he still has to explain the pension fund to the Inspector General. There's only one thing to do.
Somebody's got to get up to that table who's a big shot. A famous gambler. Somebody who'd be kind of like a challenge to him. I know. Beauregard Clayton, Mississippi riverboat gambler. Fastest shuffle in the South.
Who is he?
You is he.
Parmenter tries to protest, but he's kind of backed into a corner here. Still, he's not sure he can pull it off.
What's that?
That's my talker box. It's working again. Isn't that interesting?
Talk box?
Yes. See, it's connected up to the saloon. We can hear what they're saying, but they don't know it.
He said it's wired. Why does it sound like a heterodyning radio? Well, that was the forerunner of the ringtone, you see.
Now, O'Rourke will be back here at the table in just a few minutes. You got the new signals right?
Yeah, Dan. If O'Rourke's got 2 of a kind, I have the waiter bring 2 beers. 3 of a kind, 3 beers. Anything higher than that, he comes with a full tray.
No wonder he wins so much, he's cheating. That put it over the top for the captain. Enter Beauregard Clayton, gambler extraordinaire.
Out of my way! Stay out of my way here! If you please, sir. Make way here! I hear there's some action going on here. Beauregard Clayton's the name. Poker's my game.
Beauregard Clayton, richest man in the South.
He'll take over O'Rourke's hand and with some prearranged signals from Henry, let the win back begin.
I'll say $250.
Is that any good?
Are you questioning me, sir? Perhaps you didn't catch my name. I'll throw it again. Beauregard Clayton, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And he did that before Dan could see what was on the tray. What a shame.
Well, are you going to cover my bet, sir?
All right, all right, all right. I got it straight.
Oh, my. And all I got is 2, 3, 4, 5 jack. But they are all the same color, sir. That's a flush. I believe that beats a straight.
It won't take long. I suppose that's an act of mercy.
Well, have you had enough, sir, or shall we now pay for your horse and your cane? I could use an extra cane.
Does it? I'm through.
May I assist you, sir? Dapper Dan, here's a little traveling money so you may leave this fair city. Beauregard Clayton don't like to see no sore losers hanging around.
Don't forget your partner. Oh, by the way, we knew about him in case you hadn't figured it out.
Ah, Captain, you were terrific. We got our pension fund back and a lot more.
Well, I told you.
Clayton's my name and poker's my game.
Hyman is your name and kissing's your game.
I would say I hope they have a little stipend for Henry, considering he's the one who made it all happen. But they'll do a lot more than that.
Well, there she is. I certainly want to thank all you folks. It was certainly very kind of you to invest all your winnings in my new invention.
Why, you don't have to thank us. After all, look what you did for us. We know a genius when we see one.
Oh, the Sarge always knows we'll get our money back 10 times over.
That's right, Henry. It's a wonderful idea. Just think, Sergeant. No horses.
No horses, no reins, no room on the road for anything else. They invested the whole bundle in Henry's invention there. He's off to make the run to Dodge City in just a few hours. This invention will change the world. It's moving so fast, the spokes look like they're standing still.
Well, Sarge, looks like we're back in the blanket business.
They already told you Dodge City is the other way. And the next time you go for a drive, you might think about taking the wheels along. Epilogues in sitcoms are usually throwaway material. Not on this show. There really is no wasted footage here. It all works together in a way that I find indescribable. And it's consistent. Week after week after week, there's no decline in the quality or the tightness of the writing. That may be the most amazing thing of all.
If you're enjoying this, be sure to click the thumbs up button to show you like it. If you're not subscribed yet, punch me in the face right here and get it done. And don't forget that you can become a patron and help keep this kitty fed. The link is below. Until next time.
Several had been patented. Several had been patented. Why can't I say that word?